I spent over 10 years studying human performance. I even qualified for the Ironman World Championships. But at age 41, sitting in my own office, I couldn't think. What scared me the most was that I ate clean, slept well, I exercised, and I still felt out of control of my own body. That's when I realized for all these years I had been wrong about conventional medicine. I needed to look for something beyond what I was taught in medical school. And that's how I discovered peptides. Over the past 10 years, nothing has excited me more than their potentially life-changing effects. What I'm about to share with you took me a decade to learn. From the healing peptide that gives your body support age takes away, to the growth peptide that works across your entire body, and a lot more. So stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand something about your own body that most doctors never tell you. My peptide journey started a decade ago. And honestly, you'd think a doctor would be the last person to miss something like this. This is literally my job. I'd studied medicine for a decade. If something was wrong with me, I'd catch it before it ever had a chance to settle in. That's what I told myself, and I was wrong. Even with all that knowledge and training, I hit my own health crisis. My body fat was climbing despite eating cleaner. I was exhausted despite sleeping more. For the first time in my life, I needed coffee just to function. My blood work showed insulin resistance creeping in, a shocking reality for someone who supposedly understood everything about optimizing human performance. So I stopped relying on the lifestyle advice I'd always preached, because I'd already proven to myself it wasn't enough. And I did what any doctor would do first. I went back to the data. So I pulled my own blood work and read it like I was my own patient. And here's the part that still messes with me today. On paper, I was perfectly healthy. Cholesterol normal. Blood sugar a hair high, but nothing any doctor in America wouldn't pick up the phone and call you about. Every number medicine uses to define healthy, I passed. But I felt like I was falling apart. Here's what almost nobody tells you. A routine physical checks maybe a couple dozen markers. Your body is running on thousands of chemical signals it never even attempts to measure. You can be failing at the cellular level and still pass every test your doctor orders, which is exactly what was happening to me. I had brain fog, fatigue. My body felt out of control, like I was just existing, not living. So I stopped asking what my blood work was showing me, and I started asking a different question. What is it not showing me? Because a standard blood panel is a snapshot of your outputs. It tells you what your body has already produced, already processed, already gotten wrong enough to show up as a number. By definition, it's always looking at the past. It tells you nothing about the communication happening right now, this very second inside your cells, the signals firing between your tissues, the instructions being sent from one system to another. That coordination happens at a level so microscopic that no standard lab test ever attempts to measure it. And that is exactly where I started looking. And what I found when I went that deep shocked me. Your body isn't just a collection of organs doing their job independently. It's more like a city, and every city needs a communication infrastructure. Roads, signals, messengers moving constantly between departments, telling each other that the city what to do, when to do it, and how much. Now, imagine that communication system starts breaking down. Messages start arriving late, some don't arrive at all. The organs are still functioning, but nothing is coordinated the way it used to be. That's what starts happening in your body after your mid-30s. Your cells are still there, your tissues are still intact, but the messaging system that keeps everything in sync, the one that tells your body to repair damage while you sleep, to burn fat instead of storing it, to keep inflammation under control, produce everything efficiently, that system starts losing its signal strength. And no blood test in the world will show you that's happening, because it isn't measuring the messages. It's only measuring the aftermath of what happens when the messages stop arriving. These messengers, these tiny molecule signals, are what we call peptides. And once I understood that, everything changed. It sent me down a rabbit hole for the next 10 years, learning everything I could about them. You see, peptides are the foreman. They don't do the building themselves. They send the signals that tell your cells what to repair, how to regulate inflammation, when to produce more growth hormone, and so on. They are the communication system that keeps everything running in the right order at the right time. When you're younger, your body is drowning in these signals. Everything talks to everything else perfectly. That's why a 22-year-old can eat badly for a week, sleep 4 hours a night, and still bounce back like nothing's happened. But around your mid-30s, that volume starts to drop. When you're young, your body runs in growth mode. Cells dividing rapidly, constantly investing resources into building, repairing, optimizing. Peptide production runs at full capacity because your body generally believes it has decades of performance ahead of it. Then around 35, your body shifts its priorities. Evolutionarily speaking, by your mid-30s, it assumes you've already reproduced even if you haven't. It thinks you've already passed on your genes even if you haven't. So from a pure survival standpoint, it starts redirecting energy away from optimization and towards simply keeping you alive. And it happens so gradually that most people don't even notice. They just start blaming themselves, think they're getting lazy or stressed, or that it's just what happens when you get older. That's exactly what was happening to me. But this is when I discovered just how powerful peptides could really be. When I started looking at peptide therapy seriously, I approached it the way I approach everything else. I read the studies, I looked at the mechanisms, and then I did something most researchers never get to do. I used them on myself as a patient. I worked with colleagues I trusted to design carefully calibrated protocols, specific peptides targeting growth hormone production. Others focused on cellular repair and inflammation, nutrient optimization to give my body the raw materials to actually respond, and hormone balancing because peptides work when the rest of your internal environment is set up to receive the signal. The first few weeks felt like waiting for a light switch to flip. Small, quiet shifts I almost talked myself out of believing. And then the fog lifted, my energy came back. For the first time in my 20s, I felt unstoppable again. That's when it really hit me. Conventional medicine isn't about optimization at all. You need advanced tools like peptides to get back the energy you had in your 20s. First peptide that genuinely surprised me was MATA-C. And I say surprised because this one operates at a level most people have never even heard of. But before I tell you what it does, let me show you what was happening inside my body without it. Stop for a second and put your hands on your heart. Feel that? Every single heartbeat is being powered by something most people have never heard of. And by your mid-30s, it's quietly breaking down. Inside almost every cell, you have tiny power plants called mitochondria. And here's the wild part. Your heart cells are so hungry for energy that a single one can pack in thousands of them. When they run clean, you feel limitless. Every single thing you do, thinking, moving, healing, runs on energy they produce. But as you age, your mitochondria start to misfire. Instead of converting the food you eat into clean, usable energy, they start leaking exhaust, or damaged molecule called free radicals. And those free radicals wreck the very power plants that produce them. More damage, more leakage, more damage. A silent downward spiral right now in millions of your cells. At the same time, your cells start developing insulin resistance. Glucose, the primary fuel your body runs on, has trouble getting into your cells, so it stays in your bloodstream instead. Your blood sugar creeps up. Your body, sensing fuel it can't use, starts storing it as fat, specifically around your midsection. And then there's inflammation. When your mitochondria is struggling, your body reads that cellular stress as a threat and mounts an immune response. But because the problem is chronic and low grade rather than acute, the inflammation never fully resolves. It just sits there, quietly draining your energy. That's exactly what was happening inside my body. My blood work wasn't catastrophic, but at the cellular level, my mitochondria were failing at their one job. And that's exactly what MATA-C addresses. Now, here's the part that made me sit up. MATA-C isn't even a normal peptide. It's coded directly inside your mitochondria, its own DNA. Your cells literally manufacture it as an emergency repair signal. The catch is, as you age, you make less of it. It works directly inside the mitochondria. It improves how efficiently your cells turn glucose into energy, which breaks that cycle of insulin resistance and fat storage. It reduces free radical damage that was aging my cells faster than they should. And it dials down the chronic low-grade inflammation at the source, fixing the cellular dysfunction that was causing it in the first place. The result? Your mitochondria start doing their job again. Your cells get fuel, your energy comes back, your body stops storing everything as fat and starts burning it the way it did when you were younger. But my body was still damaged. It needed something that could heal it at the cellular level. You see, at 22, you could beat yourself up in the gym for a week straight, sleep badly, eat badly, and your body would still find a way to pull itself back together. Because at that age, your body is swimming in the exact signal it needs to prioritize repair. Growth hormone is high, inflammation resolves fast, tissue rebuilds quickly. But after your mid-30s, your repair signals are already running at a fraction of what they were. What used to heal completely now heals about 80% and stays there. The damage accumulates faster than the repair can keep up. And eventually, you're not dealing with one injury. You're dealing with a body that's chronically inflamed, chronically under-repaired, and running out of the biological signals it needs to do anything about it. That's exactly where I was. Years of training had left me the kind of wear and tear that doesn't show up dramatically on an MRI, but is present in everything. My body wasn't just refusing to heal, it just didn't have enough of the right signals to finish the job. And that's when I discovered the second peptide, PPC-157. PPC stands for Body Protection Compound. This peptide is naturally found in your gut, and its primary job is healing. In clinical research, it's shown the ability to support the repair of tendons, ligaments, muscle, and even nerve tissue faster than the body manages this on its own. For someone like me, with years of hard training and the kind of wear and tear athletes carry around silently, that was significant. Now you might be thinking, the body is supposed to heal itself, so why can't it just repair the damage on its own? And the honest answer is, it can. Far more effectively when you're young. That's what PPC-157 provides. The healing support your body needs today that was slowly taken away from it by age and life. The third peptide is Simorelin. It influences your sleep quality, your fat metabolism, your skin, your ability to recover from basically anything. Simorelin doesn't replace your growth hormone. Instead, it signals your pituitary gland, the gland that's supposed to be producing growth hormone naturally, to do its job again. My growth hormone levels came back in the normal range. My pituitary looked healthy on paper. So why did I take some Moreland when everything was normal on the labs? Because normal doesn't mean optimal. Normal just means you fall somewhere within the range of the general population. And the general population over 35 is exhausted, gaining weight, recovering slowly, and sleeping poorly. That range was built around people who are already in decline. So being told your growth hormone is normal for your age is essentially being told you're declining at the same rate as everyone else. These shifts don't show up on standard labs, but as you age, your growth hormone production drops, and your body changes in composition, function, and structure. Muscle mass falls, fat tissue builds up, bone density decreases. Moreland works on the root of that by signaling your pituitary to start producing growth hormone again. It works with your biology and reconnects the conversation between your brain and your endocrine system that was always supposed to be happening. And just like these three, all of the other peptides are some of the most exciting tools we have right now. Elite athletes use them, longevity researchers study them, and even the average person who thought their body was always going to feel broken is finding out otherwise. Now, here's where I have to admit something that sounds like it contradicts everything I just told you. For the first few months, I did everything right. The peptides, the protocols, all of it, and a piece of it still wasn't working. And it took me embarrassingly long to figure out why. It wasn't the peptides. It was that I was feeding them into a body that couldn't absorb what they needed in the first place. Here's the fact that changed how I think about all of this. You can eat a perfect nutrient-dense meal and still deliver only a fraction of it into your cells. Take magnesium. It's involved in more than 300 reactions in your body. Yet it's so poorly absorbed that most adults are running low even when they're eating well. So the real question was never, what should I take? It's, why isn't what I'm already taking reaching my cells? Answer that, and everything downstream changes. And the fix isn't what you'd expect, because peptides don't work in a broken environment. You can have the best foreman on the job site, but if the foundation is cracked and the building materials are garbage, nothing gets built. The missing piece for me, and for most of my patients, was cellular health, not sleep, diet, or exercise. Those matter, and you already know that. I'm talking about what's happening at an even deeper level than any of that. Inside your cells, right now, there are processes responsible for generating energy, repairing your tissues, and keeping your brain sharp. For most people over 35, those processes are quietly running out of fuel. That's a biological problem, and it needs a biological solution. Think about it this way. When you eat something, even the most nutrient-dense meal you can put together, it goes through your digestive system before any of it reaches your cells. And your digestive system, by design, is a filtration system. It breaks things down, decides what to absorb, and discards the rest. When you're young and your gut lining is healthy and intact, that filtration works reasonably well. You absorb a decent percentage of what you eat, but over time, chronic stress, poor sleep, environmental toxins, even intense exercise, all of it gradually damages the lining of your gut. Inflammation there reduces its ability to absorb nutrients efficiently. And some nutrients, like magnesium especially, are so poorly absorbed that most people are functionally deficient even when they're eating foods that technically contain it. So, by your late 30s or 40s, even if you're eating well, you might be absorbing only a fraction of what your cells actually need. The food is there, the nutrients are there, but the delivery system is compromised. This is why you need targeted therapies like IV nutrient therapy to restore your cellular health. When you deliver nutrients directly into the bloodstream, you bypass the gut entirely, and your cells get exactly what they need at full concentrations. But therapies like these only work when they're built around your biology specifically. Your hormone levels aren't the same as mine, and your stress response, your genetics, your history, all of it shapes what your body actually needs right now. A plan copied from someone else is just guesswork with extra steps. You need a protocol designed around your body, and that's exactly what you get at Vibe Wellness. We go beneath the surface to the actual biological mechanisms that are either working for you or quietly working against you. Because in my experience, that's where the real answers are hiding. From there, we build your path. IV infusions tailored to your deficiencies, peptide protocols matched to your hormonal profile, hyperbaric oxygen, regenerative therapies, nutrient optimization, all of it working together as one coordinated plan built around you. So if you're someone like me, fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, weight that won't move, brain fog you've quietly accepted as normal, I want you to know that's not just aging. It's your body asking for deep cellular repair. And if you want to know more, you can book a discovery call with my team by using the link in the description below.